Hello everybody, welcome back in here. We are moving swiftly on, going up a border here, of course, to North America for our remaining two games. Yesterday was pretty impressive stuff coming through from the likes of Team Colombia. Unfortunately, Guatemala maybe had been written down that they had Malbs coming in, but of course, given recent circumstances, he was not able to play.
That's
and
fair
they
enough.
did indeed struggle pretty heavily against Canada. But yeah, it kind of is fair enough. You know, he's on to big and bright things over here in Europe. And, you know, makes sense. Makes sense. You don't want him playing out on like 150 ping or whatever, right? That's
probably
not
worse, honestly. I mean, I have like gigabit internet and I get about 90 ping when I play with my East Coast American
So if
friends.
he's like, yeah, exactly.
They're probably on
a little bit further in.
Maybe like servers, if I'm being honest here, between like some of these teams like Honduras and the United States, probably maybe servers in like Mexico, maybe, or maybe like Texas. Texas seems to have a lot of popular servers. He could be on like 170 plus, maybe. Like it could be that hefty. So maybe for the best.
Yeah, I think so. But as you can see here, of course, Team United States, USA. Sometimes we might call them America by accident, you know, but of course we have to be a bit more specific here, give them their official name. They will be playing off against Honduras, and we kind of look towards this USA squad as being the favorite coming in. Again, another one of our solid rosters, Perseverance Gaming, looking really, really good yesterday, although Colombia did bring them a little close. For sure, on that second map, they ultimately were able to take it in a 2-0 fashion. Honduras, meanwhile, they played off against Panama. Pretty one-sided stuff. They put up 11 rounds across two maps. So going to be a challenge here. Again, straight out of the gate. Can't pull any punches. Can't lighten things up, unfortunately, for Honduras. But we'll see. Depends where the maps go down. Depends, indeed, if the United States struggle as they did against Colombia. This, of course, is their squad. We've got Gabe, MDS, Louis, Shutout, and Kojamo, of course. The very well-known names here, I think, representing US, a couple of these players as well, the last time in Yash. So looking forward to seeing what we're able to get out from these guys here today again.
Yeah, and I mean, yesterday, one man in particular, Kojo, I mean, incredible. 31 kills that second map. I think it was 23 in the first. I mean, he had a bit of a lights-out series. It was a bit of a highlight reel at times. Especially when, you know, in all fairness, they did get tested, right? It wasn't exactly a complete waltz in the park in that matchup. They were really sort of made to work at times, but ultimately getting that win that matters most for them over Colombia in a 2-0 fashion. Yes, with a bit of the distance on Dust 2, you know, Colombia got up towards double digits, but in the end, they still saw that one off 2-0 relatively cleanly. Whereas Honduras, on the side yesterday, they lost 2-0 to the likes of Panama. That was 13-3 and 13-8 on Dust 2 and Ancient. So, if we're being perfectly honest, the expectations that realistically, United States shouldn't struggle basically, probably at all throughout this competition. I mean, I would revere them as the absolute favorites, with probably Canada coming in second, Colombia coming in third, and then maybe that kind of fight for, on the other side, maybe Costa Rica as well, as maybe the fourth team as well. If we're kind of trying to say a top four for playoffs. Here is Honduras for you on the other side, of course. For them, they are currently looking for a win to kickstart things. We've got Tin, Rands, Faith, Demi, and Devo. So, you know, pretty easy names. Devo's a famous name here in the United Kingdom as well. Indeed. The king, the man, the myth.
It came straight into my head as well. So,
straight
you know,
away.
I'm with you on that.
The pigeons and everything.
I can't imagine he's very good at Counter-Strike, but it's a cool name nonetheless. It is a cool name.
Yeah, Devo for Honduras doesn't realize how iconic his name would be here in the United Kingdom. For basically people over the age of 21 or so. Yeah, I feel like anyone younger might not realize them. But either way, this is a team that we don't know have a lot about. These guys, from my understanding, don't play, a lot that I've seen anyway, play kind of Counter-Strike at maybe kind of an international level, at that top level too. So we don't really know what to expect. I think the good thing with competitions like IESF is, the best thing about IESF is that we get to see these teams showcase some new faces and maybe even make a bit of a name for themselves. We've seen that already throughout the Africa and the Asian qualifiers. A couple of players who have really come to play, and they've been sort of lights out. So hopefully we get to see something out of Honduras and get to see how they can compete against what is arguably the best team in this qualifier.
Yes, absolutely. It will be a challenge here, but maybe they can bring it down to an even kind of map for them. We've got the veto coming in, and yeah, you can immediately see, right? Team USA moving into that nuke, it is one of these maps that can be very, very difficult for mixers to get going. I think maybe a Vertigo and in the past an Overpass also fitting into that category. But here, of course, we have the nuke coming in, the Ancient out for Honduras, and the Anubis as that decider. Ancient going to be a difficult one. It is that puggier map at the moment. I would even say more so than Dust 2. Everybody's so comfortable on it. A little smaller than Dust 2. You can get fights going in the first sort of 15 seconds of the round. That's maybe what they're going to be looking for. Seems we're ahead of time here. We're already a round in. USA taking the pistol. So after yesterday, I think the admins have pulled the truncheons out, and they're like, listen, no messing around here today. We had a few late starts. Let's get things rolling. It's a long day for us on the continent and you guys as well. So let's make this as smooth as possible. Nice little trade back there on the Glock. Honduras not investing anything into this round, so any guns that they're able to take away will be a bonus.
Yes. 1, 2 is there for the taking, and he'll get it in the end. And the last man left now, it's Demigod. He's got himself a FAMAS. He's being chased as well. No escaping the grasp of Kojimo. For him, will get a kill. They missed the pistol, sadly, but nonetheless, it is now going to be a buy coming through for Honduras. I mean, want to see what they can do with these AK-47s in play. The pistol, the low buy, we're not going to read too heavily into that. I mean, half of the CS fan base these days say pistols are RNG anyway. They're all up to luck, and there's no game plan. As casters, we know that's not the case, but Honduras, let's see what they can do with the AKs in their hands. Bit of outside U2 going to come through. Let's go towards back red. MB9 up close. MDS overextends a little bit.
Down secret quite quickly here on the Honduras side of things, so there will be rotations down. So they've got to be careful. Gabe ready. Takes one, but that's all he's able to get. Quick trades are the name of the game here for Honduras, absolutely, when they've got this advantage to work with. But again, super telegraph. Bomb going down. Louis comes around trying to deny away, but unable to do so. Reveals himself in the process. Well, life is going to get a bit more awkward for this AWP. Aggression coming in. Molotov as well. Forces some awkward spots. Smoke starting to go down somehow. Not finding the frag. There it is. The fool does eventually go down, and the bomb somewhat under threat. Plenty of time to work with for the CT side here. Looking happy to take the frags. They will indeed get them. They've got that kit, and the retake looks clean. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, they had to really sort of dig deep for that one. I felt like they really had to work for it at one point, but in the end, right, we're only kind of taking 2 casualties. We're still taking another round on the board, and you're converting a bonus buy, I think, most importantly, which for them is exactly what they want to see. 3-0 start. Honduras do get a bomb plant, but it's not enough to suffice for a buy in towards the next, sadly, for them. So just a couple of upgraded pistols. That's basically all they're going to have to work with in this situation. Probably a bit of a non-starter, I think it's safe to say. Yeah. Shot out, getting aggro. Finds the first as well. Nice shot on towards the Vul. And Tin out range gets caught as well by MDS, who's doing good work on outside control. And Shutout looking for more. Ooh, nice find from Rands coming in. Faith manages to find one as well with the Deagle here, but you can see not a lot to work with. 30 HP between the two of them. Advanced position towards ramp is a clean kill for Louis, and therefore Faith against the world certainly going to have to live up to the namesake here. One would assume an AWP shot does miss, so maybe a gap for him to work with, but I know where he's at now. He's pretty savvy here. There's a flank coming round. Might have heard a step. Might have heard a ladder. Gabe, though, still going to get it. And USA moving up to 4 quite quickly.
Yeah, nice and easy. Good outside control. Lobby crunch that comes in a kind of a simultaneous move there. Really decent stuff from the USA. Can't complain basically at all. Honduras back into the bye. We do need to see Honduras start coming alive a little bit. I think it's safe to say if things don't start sooner rather than later, they could be in a little bit of trouble. This is generally seen as a CT-sided map. No two ways about it, but Honduras have got to make something of the C-side. Generally, I say 5 rounds on T-side of Nuke is pretty good. Any less, however, maybe in for a bit of trouble.
cheeky little move here in towards Africa. The M4 does get dealt with. Shut out with the double, however. Lovely and clean for that second. Going to drop the bomb in the meantime and begin the confusion game. Rans on the slow move. Caught on the ladder. Able to bail off of it, but position's now going to be known. It's looking pretty good for USA. They've developed this lobby area to try and hold the bomb controlled. Gabe slipping the net slightly. Gotta be careful of the players in behind, however. Molotov comes forward, pushes them into the fight. Oh no, the team kill. Oh, it felt like maybe they were in it for a second, but the team kill is going to make a big difference. Shutout takes a lot of damage on the drop down. Kojimo trying to close this gap here. Molly goes in. They force forward, picks up the bomb. Where are we going? Oh my goodness, dodging the bullets as well. This is all over the place. Unable to slip through in the end. USA, it's certainly getting stressful. Make it work to keep the streak going.
Yeah. All right. That one was probably the hardest one they've had to fight for, or at least from what we've seen so far. And it did get a little dicey for a brief moment. It looks like, unfortunately, we've lost Tin. So I think we're going to be having a tech issue, or at least a tech pause for a brief moment. At the very least. Hopefully, it is only a brief moment there, and then we can get him sort of back underway. But nonetheless, it's a 5-0 start for the USA, where they're looking pretty good, all in all. I don't think there's really that many complaints from us on what we've seen so far from them. That one, hey, a little bit dicier, a little bit harder for, but ultimately, a round is a round, a win is a win. 5-0 start. They can't really have too many complaints. And a very decent amount of economy getting built up by the USA as well. Good funds left in reserves for if things go south in the future and all of the rest. And of course, for USA, now it's about wanting probably just to get things right back underway because they've had such a solid showing of things so far. When you get these tech pauses, they can sort of halt your momentum a little bit, or at least have a break in a sense, which could slow you down in probably a way you don't want to. You want to just keep getting these reps under your belt and these rounds under because they're going so well.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of an awkward one here. Takes some wind out. Always, I think, especially in a faster game like this, it feels like it is going to just be a little difficult to deal with. You know, you have to stay in the mindset, and you know we're chomping at the bit to get into the Counter-Strike, get this series underway. Still feels pretty early on, so there's not an awful lot to talk about. USA have just been really, really confident. Balls to the wall, I think, is what springs to mind, to be honest with you, and it is working for them. Honduras again going to struggle against the individuality of USA here, but a challenging matchup, to say the least. We've seen a couple of moments. Maybe Honduras can squeeze out a round or two here or there. But again, this is where that Team USA, as a squad, as Perseverance, are going to be able to find the crunch moments, all important at the end of the round. And we've already seen a little bit of that with a really clean retake downstairs, which can be a bit difficult to get going. So Honduras, if they are to win rounds, I think they need very, very strong advantages going into the final few stages. And that's something about Nuke as well that makes it a challenge for these mixier teams, is like, you know, one untracked player, one flank that is unaccounted for, and suddenly you lose 2, maybe even 3 players, or indeed an uncomfortable look on the retake can be difficult to work around, even with an advantage.
Yeah, that is that. But unfortunately, we are at a break, and I guess we can change things up. We've got plenty of time to talk about Counter-Strike this evening. Honduras, not a country I've ever been to, I don't know about you, but I don't think I've even really heard too much about what Honduras is like. I'm assuming it's probably incredibly pretty. I feel like that a lot of those countries in kind of Central America like that are, from what I can see, it's pretty close to Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. I've heard Costa Rica is stunning, so Honduras pretty close. Probably not too far away from like Jamaica as well, Cayman Islands. I'm sure it's probably, yeah, quite pretty.
Yeah, man. I've never been, to be fair, to be honest with you, but indeed, I think it's certainly an interesting one. I know that
Google Images, it's pretty damn.
Yeah, I'm kind of on there. I'm having a little bit of a look here.
Nice
I know
blue
that there
water.
was some funky stuff going on. I think at one point we were involved a little bit, right, as when the Empire was going. So
really?
Definitely would have been an opportunity to get over there if we were a few generations back.
Yeah.
But not the case here, obviously. Yeah, but I mean, that part of the world is definitely something that I want to explore at some point, and hopefully esports will kind of take us there. You know, that's one of the beautiful things about this job, is the fact that we're able to get around a bit. You know, Mongolia off the list this year for you and I. That was kind of crazy, for sure. Yeah,
I mean, this is the kind of the cool thing about esports, and I think hopefully with the circuit opening up, who knows, there might be some TOs that try and start something over in South America, because a lot of stuff is generally speaking in Brazil. Obviously, we've had IEM Rio, we had the Rio Major as well. A lot of stuff is generally speaking in Brazil. I think it's probably because of infrastructure reasons. In all fairness, I'm sure it has. Well, we know it has a pretty good appetite for esports, and of course all the infrastructure for it. But yeah, not often you get to go to countries like, you know, Honduras. I've had friends who gone to Costa Rica, and they've said that place is absolutely stunning. One of my friends says it's the most beautiful place he's ever been. So he spoke very highly of it. But yeah, hopefully with esports we get a chance. I mean, we get North America with, I mean, obviously the Austin Major happening next year. So North America is obviously a pretty common place for Counter-Strike events, but Central America, not as much. So maybe in the future, who knows? Either way, it looks like we've lost Tin. We're waiting to see whether we'll get him back in. We might get him back in. Who knows? We're
getting updates. We're getting updates.
Yeah, exactly.
We're seeing what's going on.
We heard a bit of typing, you know what I
mean? We're a bit unsure at the moment, unfortunately. It does seem that we're getting information fed through. This is another thing as well, you know, with sort of the Mixia teams that are a little bit less familiar with the tournament operations and whatnot. Maybe their line of communication and whatnot is not the cleanest. So, you know, it might be a case of like, oh, well, I think it's going to take like 2 minutes, but actually it's going to take like 10. Actually, no, it's going to take 1, you know. So I think there's a little bit going on across the board here, unfortunately. So we'll try and keep you updated as we can. We don't have too much coming in. May well, you know, be a bit of a language barrier in places as well to contend with here. So ultimately just sort of trying to keep the game alive as long as we possibly can without the dreaded B word.
Yes, exactly. But worst case scenario, we could go to one. But Tin, I mean, I see him in the server. It looks like he's there. So, and he's bought. So maybe Tin's back. I feel like we might have bought enough time for this one to potentially get back on the road. I see Tin in the server with a MAC-10 in his arms and a flashing Molotov. So I think we're probably getting about ready to get on the way. So no need for the break, or at least from what I can tell, unless there's some further issue or any sort. Touch wood, not to be. But regardless, it is a 5-0 start. And from what we know, the game will be getting back underway in just a moment. There we go. We are back live. I guess that was your prime opportunity to look up Honduras. Now you got to watch them in the server as we are getting things back underway, ladies and gents. We are ready to get things going. Round number 6 on the card. Honduras looking for their first round in general, right? They've gone for a force buy here. It's not a full investment though. It's, you know, we're bringing a few MAC-10s, but we're not dipping too deep into the pockets.
Here we go, rushing towards the A bomb site after all this time. See if they can get away with it. Bomb plant is certainly just around the corner. MDS, however, gets aggressive, uses the numbers and the confidence to his advantage. Flash is a little bit dodgy, but the boys will indeed cover him out. Team USA looked a bit stressful for a second, but they recover things back swiftly. Looking for this flawless CT half now. 6 rounds already on the CT side. Pretty impressive stuff. They've got to keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Great one from them. But of course, as that wasn't that full investment coming through for Honduras, we will just go right back in to a buyout for them. An even better one in towards this as well. AKs, just the board, util to work with, but sooner rather than later, Honduras, one of these rounds has got to stick, or they are going to be in a lot of trouble. I want things to become, you know, too hard for them to even consider the idea of getting in towards this. Shut out, get out good. That'll cost him his life. Might have spotted, or might have, he definitely knows about one, potentially a second as well. I think he heard him just outside of main. Speaking of, they line up for MDS. And it's Kojomo's flash, which gifts him those two.
That's a problem for sure. Louis holding the line here in towards ramp as well. Does Overswing a little, but the AWP on the other side here with the Tech 9. Also going to get taken down, but they're not ready. Not ready for MDS. He gets himself 4 overall. That's unfortunate, right? Where there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. That comes across from personal favorite of mine, Escape from Tarkov. You can never count out the amount of opponents, and it does happen sometimes here in Counter-Strike. Honduras, yeah, worked hard for the 2 there at ramp, and they were like, okay, cool, we can take a moment to chill, get some utility down, and maybe think about how we're going to recover, but there was a man around the corner. Team USA doing no wrong, playing really well off the back of each other. No stress here. And again, not having to go too deep into the strat book, just a very conventional, we are better style of play. Nice blow with the smoke. MDS continues being a menace outside.
Spamming that smoke, hoping to catch somebody crossing. Gabe's nade, he's going to do so. They're already being flanked is the crazy thing. Good trade that comes through. But left down the 2 in a matter of moments. I was going to say make that 1, but MDS can't confirm the kill. Kojo going to get active. Nice shot from the AWP. The last man's barely alive. They'll know that. They'll know he's so low. So Kojo can just opt for the pistol and he'll probably be fine if he is to fight.
Yeah, indeed. Looking good. Might be able to squeeze a plan is the thing. Gets it right, you know, and the timing works for him. Kojomo's not really moving. Oh, I like it. I like it. Rans. He's creeping in. He knows. He doesn't really have a chance. Kojo does turn around to nearly finish him. Still feeling good here. Louis even got the full belt. You know, get that nade out. Yep. And it doesn't even have to be all that close. Oh, still doesn't quite find it, however. He's got to know where Rans is at the moment, though, trying to run in and get this tap on. Doesn't matter too much. He can just play so fast because he knows how low Rans is. And unfortunately, Honduras so damn close to their first round. But close is not going to do it. 8 in a row now for Team USA.
Good work. Honestly, there's even when these moments become a little bit close or there's an opportunity, USA are just making sure that we're not allowing Honduras in towards this game. You know, a bomb plant is a small silver lining, which is sufficient enough for that buy because of loss bonus. But, I mean, for USA, already up to 8. I mean, strong arguments to say that even alone could be enough. Even if it was to end 8-4, that still is at least enough of a lead at that halfway point where it wouldn't feel that much pressure. I mean, who knows? But let's see, Honduras, if we can just get, you know, 1 round just to kickstart things, that might bolster the confidence to hopefully start spiraling a little bit more. Shuts out early into that last round, did get caught overextending in towards Hearts. This time, Louis going to push through, gets 1 and gets away.
Rivol forwards does manage to pick up Louis. It's not quite said and done just yet. Smoke goes down, shut out, dealt with. Okay, here we go, getting a bit more interesting. MDS just making so much noise. Overconfidence getting the better of USA here. They are now the ones on the back foot. How do they respond? Plenty of time for Honduras to work with. I feel like they could easily drop back, take it slow, get some of that utility out, and confirm this round.
Gabe, alt vent. Probably one of the strongest places you can play when you're isolated. He had the step. Gabe peeks. He doesn't need to peek. Holding for the swing. One coming out from Hart, and he won't be able to get it. So it's all put down onto Kojamo, who makes it a chance. All down to 1 man. I mean, Rans is so low here. This is difficult. Kojo's tagged as well. Knife out, making his way down towards B. We'll drop down here. He wins the race. In all fairness for Kojo. Gonna post up. Might be able to get him on the cross. And with the pistol, Kojo does. 1v2 converted for Kojamo is massive. He opts to pick up the AK because he has money to buy back in towards his own AWP. Brilliant work from him. Another round in which just, you know, comes close for Honduras, but it's just not enough for them to see it over the line. The only issue that I've really had with the United States so far is just they are actually, because they're winning by such a wealth of a lead, they're just overextending. You know, a couple of times now, they're over-fighting a little bit in towards lobby, but they don't need to. But at the same time, they're 9-0 up. I don't really blame them for trying to have a bit of fun in this.
Yeah, I mean, it is fair. They definitely come in looking like an incredibly confident outfit. And I think potentially after that round, they might rein it in a little bit and just get this one done. Move into the Ancient. MDS cannot be touched. Continues looking good outside. 13-6 now to his name. And indeed, it feels like doing enough to give USA a really, really solid piece of groundwork when it comes to the outer yard.
Does all go quiet. Bit of a move being made here as he's going to creep up. Try and catch one off guard, and he will. Nivul going to fall. That's tough. Very tough indeed. Demigod, however, going to catch MDS. Not completely impossible. But then again, this lobby move, once again, going pretty loud as well. He's trying to make his way up towards Silo. I don't know if Shut Up needs to do that. That is a little audacious for me.
Yeah, again, given a swing across to Honduras. I think, as we talked about, if you're coming through as the favorite, you need to prove as such. But looking good. Through the smoke might just do it. Kojimo ready for the move. And will indeed get himself a little bit of a classic there on the graffiti. That's a relic for sure. 10-0 now for Team USA.
Alrighty. Double digits taken so early is a real testament to just how good the United States look at the moment. Really clean Counter-Strike being played from them. Yes, there's mistakes coming through, but it's not costing them the round. So at the end of the day, we don't really care too much about these little mistakes because they're not ending in any sort of negative way. 10-0. Honduras, of course, back into the bye. Oh, the fight's good for the Fool. Shut out again, going to get caught. But Kojo there to bail him out.
Still playing with fire in some of these rounds, Team USA. 4-on-3, another recovery going to be required. Gabe through the smokes continues being difficult, continues finding success ultimately. So numbers evened up, trying to go for a silent ram play, but Louis too smart for that. Finds two. And a clutch situation for the demigod himself. He will drop back to try and take these fights. Kojo on the contact. Surely got to get this. And indeed, looking good. Down he will go. USA recover back another. So even though they're putting themselves in these sort of disadvantageous positions, they still keep winning out the rounds.
And I guess that's the only thing that the USA care about. I mean, hence why they probably are so happy to fight in that sense, because nothing has really been costly. Speaking of costly, they make sure they buy as much as they can. USA. A lot of pistols there on the floor in towards spawn. 11-0. Light work so far on the CT side. Interesting as well, you know, United States picking in towards this map. Honduras deciding to start T side. It's a bold choice on a map which is the most CT sided in the pool. It's been a real tough one for them. Towards our side. MDS will try and go above here. Spots one. May even get a second as well. He's trying to play around the edge of this smoke. Does spot him out. Laban on the spray. Runs out of ammo. 5-7. Can't quite find them. He tucks himself in towards Gap.
Okay, a little bit awkward, but again, looking good for Team USA here. Shut out. Loves getting aggressive. This time might work for him. Still takes the dink. Meanwhile, at ramp, bomb going to get dropped. Down to just Rands. Flawless half, unless he can ace up all by himself. Tag down low, and of course, the headshot to finish it off. 12-0. Team USA not messing around here. Honduras struggling, but the nuke may well be a map that we have to ban out against USA by the looks of things.
Yeah, they are not pulling any punches in towards this one. USA look great, and with, you know, groups and making it towards that playoff stage for the North American qualifier, round difference is uber important. It needs to be something that you keep track of, and at least in the back of your mind to some sense. And I mean, at the moment, not looking good if this is the case. 12-0. The USA could be getting our first flawless map of both of the Americas qualifiers, in all fairness, too. Bar, of course, the forfeit loss from Brazil. Let's see. Quick way towards B. The first is good. Debbie got a faith combining, but the trades are there.
God, it's a mess. It is an absolute mess. When it settles, however, USA coming out on top. Always difficult to predict a pistol. But with that bomb going down and the 3 versus 2, it feels like Team USA are going to have enough on the cards to take the flawless first map here. 26 minutes in. Here now, it has been a quick one, especially on Nuke, which can function as one of the slower moving maps. We'll see. Tim and Rans to try and get it going. Tim as yet to frag. Rans with 11. He goes down. It's all on to Tim. 1v3, and he cannot get it done. 13-0 for Team USA, laying down the law here against Honduras. They are looking to secure their spot without a hitch. They've done it on the first map. Now they've got the question mark of the second map of Ancient coming up. But my goodness, this is insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah. And again, just painting the picture of our favorite.
Yeah, a wild showing out from the United States where they just look as clean as we expect out of the favorites, not only in this matchup, but in arguably their group, their qualifier, in fact, as well, just this, because that's how good they can be. And we'll run through these highlights and you can just see, first of all, how kind of quick this game felt. I mean, it was a really good showing out from the United States, but also I think the main thing for me was a lot of these rounds, especially when they're on the tail end of that first half, where the USA were at man disadvantages and they were forced into clutches. I mean, I think they pulled off in like 5 rounds, in a 5-round period, they pulled off 3 1v2 clutches in their favor because they were, you know, overfighting a little bit in towards lobby. Yeah. You know, for the most part, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. When you're winning by such a heavy margin, you can afford to, you know, play around a little bit and be a little bit looser in terms of your strats. And of course, you win 13-0 overall. But if we're just being a little bit picky, like, that's the only thing I can probably say. But United States, they coasted to a pretty clean and comfortable win there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No real difficulty for them. You can see across the board as well, everybody getting involved. The other side is a little difficult in places. Tin, we're not quite sure what was going on. He did drop out a 3 score. Don't usually see, you know, the score included on scoreboard graphics, but here it paints a picture because that might be one of the lowest scores I think I've ever seen in a game of Counter-Strike. Yeah. Just full stop, actually.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's kind of savage. I feel a bit bad for him now that I've said that. But, you know, it's a difficult run. Just could not get some of those individuals involved in the rounds for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're being completely honest, right? You know, Tin really struggled to get on the board. And, you know, having only 1 player even getting towards double digits, again, it is not exactly the nicest thing to see, right? A really good showing off in the United States. Everybody looked clean. I mean, kills across the board as well. I mean, everybody had their moments, which is really solid to see. And it was anything but over towards Honduras. And, you know, the first 30 that we've had, our quickest map by some margin, but also probably, I think, the probably one of the quickest ones we've had in the majority of the IESF qualifiers that have been on the stream at the very least. USA are just that cut above, and I think that's the big thing. This is a mismatch in terms of, I think, experience, probably the main thing. You know, perseverance, an ECL level team, top end of North America. They're the ones who fight deep in towards qualifiers, go deep in towards the season. They're a team who can even play in towards playoffs if things go well in their favor. So, you know, when we look at them in this sort of qualifier, we have to see them as the favorites and all the rest. Either way, we've got a bit of a break on our hands before we head in towards map number 2. Maybe a chance for Honduras to turn things around, but we're going to have to wait and see. See you in a moment.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back in a very swift 13-0 from Team USA. On their own map pick, I suppose, is maybe an angle that we can take here, but ultimately looking like an unstoppable force. There was not much put up by Honduras. A couple of close rounds in there, to be fair, but again, maybe comes down to USA in the mid-round, overstepping a bit. Not a massive amount of discipline because they knew when it got into a retake, when it got into like a lot of 2vx's that maybe they shouldn't have had, right? They were still able to get things rolling. Really solid stuff coming in from them. And now we move on to Ancient. It's the pick of Honduras. They are as yet to really give us anything across the course of the couple days that look impressive, but this is the map they went for against Panama as well. Picked up a few more rounds, I suppose. Still only 8, right? I think they might, unfortunately, be one of our lower-seeded teams by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Still hoping for some competition here. And again, for teams like this, it's all about the future. It's all about the learning experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something kind of what we love about ISF in a sense is that when we come back next year, for example, we come back to the North American quals, we get to look at kind of maybe how Honduras have improved from this qualifier to the next qualifier. I mean, this is the beautiful thing. These sort of qualifiers and these sort of showings could be sort of where we see teams really say, okay, next year we're going to make sure that, you know, we work hard and we build a team that's ready for this and we get the best players we possibly can for this qualifier. At least we get ready in terms of what's on map pool, a couple of strats in the book and all the rest. So it's all about learning, I think, is the big thing. But, you know, you're right. We're going towards Ancient. And also, I think in a way, Ancient might lean in towards a lot of the strengths of the United States team for Perseverance as a roster. Very puggy. They're happy to take fights and all of the rest. And, of course, even just when you look at them, they haven't actually managed to play it in an official yet under Perseverance as a roster, but still the expectations are pretty high for them. Demigod Faith are going to combine for a few kills. United States, this pistol, not going off to a good start here.
Oh, very true. Bomb going down. Gabe getting giddy. Oh, and he catches them unawares. Incredible stuff. It's all on to Devul, who came through as this lurking presence. They're somewhat savvy to the fact. Looks like he should be able to get a drop down here. He does indeed. Gabe still gets a shot off, nearly landing. Kojima in the 1 versus 1. Where is he? Don't rightly know. Oh, a little panicked. Jumping the gun, not lining up his crosshair. Certainly had the opportunity to do so. Bomb going down, holding it as well. We're all going to get that money in. Try and isolate the 1v1. He's tagged down low. That lack of armor getting the better of him. Kojima spams away to indeed find the pistol. And again, Team USA certainly got some luck on their side in some of these rounds, but they get the pistol.
Yeah, Face It London sticker on top as well. Just really, you know, kind of glam out that bomb defuse there. But, you know, in the end, all that matters is that United States take that first one for them. Good work. I mean, hey, Honduras get a bomb plant. There's an opportunity to buy in towards the next, which I think is the main thing for them. But yeah, I mean, I look at this and I just say, really, at where we're here, this could just end up being more of the same. United States, that's a very, very normal round that we've seen so far, where they go down to the man disadvantage. Have to really bring it out of nowhere. Kojima for a double. He will then fall, but Gabe puts Faith all alone in a 1v3.
Yeah, the burst out towards middle was expected, as USA looking keen. Just ready and raring to go for that kind of a fight, and ultimately Honduras cannot match up. We'll see. Faith creeping out. I think this is going to be expected. You see the presence from Gabe in the donut, the flank coming round as well. M4 surely wins out this fight. A little close. Think is there. But ultimately, they take it. Second round in a row for USA. Honduras not able to get a bomb plant back in this one, so it will be an eco coming out for them. Maybe a few upgraded pistols. Nothing much else to speak of, so gonna have to wait things out. Should be a third in a row here for USA.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, not expecting a hell of a lot in this one. Unfortunately, just a couple of upgraded pistols, maybe a bit of a rush to the speed side. Could be a nade that comes through that meets them in towards ramp. However, flash over. Bits of damage dealt so far. Gabe and MDS. Kojo will chime in one of his own as well. And a pretty simple third. Only the one casualty as MDS gets caught. But aside from that, not too shabby. Honduras will come right back in towards a bye. That was always a bit of a throwaway. Weren't expecting miracles in that one. And yeah, that is the case. But I think for USA, similar to what we saw in towards that previous map. Clean Counter-Strike, not pulling too many punches. Looking good.
Indeed, looking very, very good. Molly down, double nades as well. Keeping them at bay. In that elbow. God, wanting to go in for the peak. The flashes do look pretty good, and they're going to try and overwhelm here. Gabe with a key frag. Has to try and stay alive. The support is coming round from Cave. There's noise all over, and MDS just has not been heard ultimately. Maybe trying to go in for the knife, but opts not to be that cheeky quite yet. Another fast round, and this is the thing, you know, this is what we maybe complain about a little bit in, you know, the European scene, that kind of tier 2 of Europe, where a lot of the rounds, even the pistols, can be super slow, super drawn out.
Yeah.
But this is kind of why, right? You get caught up in the aggression, and it can make it hard to communicate cleanly and be prepared for the fight, come up with something fresh. You know, it really sets the tone for the game. And if you can't keep up, if you can't compete, then where else do you go? You know, you've not established a slower, more methodical kind of play style, and it can really get the better of you.
Ooh. Aggro. One there, that's for sure, but Ten can only get one. They're going to try and wrap through on towards the site, and there might be a gap to work with. It's a fool in the backline is going to get one of his own. He's out towards Donut. It's a weird round here where it's they're kind of on the opposite side to each other in where you'd expect them to be. But once again, another 1vx situation for the United States. This one 1v3 now turn 1v2. A tough one for Kojo. Had a good start to this game so far. To try and continue on that fact, and he will. Catches Tin. Ooh, maybe we're on here. Last man. Is Demigod going to get spammed by Kojo Mo? Oh, he cannot seem to lose. Another clutch for him. Another Face It London spray, and we are loving life. Shout out to Kojo in that one. That's that US and UK combination there. The American flag on a Face It London sticker in a big 1v3. Big round for USA as they find their 5th.
Yeah, looking good. Looking really, really good. And again, these clutch situations, they look far more comfortable. Very confident, very present in them. And Kojo played a fantastic first map. Looks like he's going to hit that same kind of level here. I think yesterday, bit of a warm-up. Maybe a bit of a wake-up from Colombia as well, bringing their second map super close. Been plenty of time to get prepared and practicing. It looks like they definitely are this time around. Louis in quick. All 3, maybe. Not quite. Robbed away. Oh, it's Gabe with the 2-for-1. It is getting silly now. Honduras maybe need a moment. The set rounds just are not there. All over the place. Not even ready on some of the timings, unfortunately, and getting absolutely demolished. There is no beating around this bush. No two ways around it right now. It is... Yeah, it's just not going well.
No. It's a way to put it, all right? I think it's just sort of absolutely spot on. Tough old situation that we're in. Oh, man. They have really been struggling, Honduras, to get these rounds on the board. First fight is good for Faith, though. Credit. And actually, there's no one else towards the site, but USA are moving in as a unit now in through Donut.
Yeah, this could be difficult for them, though, to be fair. More utility going down. That's another smoke. Louis going to fall in the backside, actually. Flank coming in from Rands. He's going to have some good information then and be like, okay, I think, like, most of them are in there. Definitely another couple. Gabe, however, undeterred, goes flying in. Traded quickly. This is where the numbers are going to come through. They can sacrifice a player or two for the information if they need to here. Trying to find the bomb. Shut out. Thought there was a smoke down. Not going to happen. USA would have been a hell of a thing if they got that one. Let's just say that. Honduras will indeed fend off the double 13-0, getting themselves their first round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's the small positives we'll take, right, at the very least for Honduras. But another one, I think, where just USA are a little bit too happy to fight. Again, you know, that's just us being picky here. Maybe me being a little bit of a perfectionist in the sense, because the United States, they could, with their ability, have the opportunity to put off that double 13-0. But good on Honduras, getting a round out, and now might spiral into maybe a couple more. 10 for 1. Devul for the trade as well. That's a really nice execute.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like they do have a bit in the back pocket here, and maybe USA going to have to wake up and dig deep as well. Kojo finds himself alone. 1 versus 3. A lot of low HP bars. Little unlucky on some of the fights, maybe. If he didn't have the AWP, I'd maybe give him a chance in here. But be careful giving him the opportunities. There'll be a kit available. USP is out here. Kit retrieved as well. Time starting to get the better of him. Smoke goes down, and the peak comes in. It's a little close, but I think time should just work out for Default. Plays around that smoke as well to seal it in. All the same, taking some guns away is always good.
Yeah, Kojo does keep making these ones closer, I think, than we maybe expect, and all the rest. But ultimately, second on the board, Honduras looking better. A nice execute. Actually, a really, really nice execute, I think, is the main takeaway point from us in that one, right? Where I think, a trade on towards that site coming through, a great push-up on towards ramp, and really exactly what you want to see from Honduras, where they actually utilize aggression and their pace in a really positive way. Well done. Obviously, has had a knock-on effect, too, towards the United States. Thereby, a little bit janky.
Yeah, to say the least, they're lacking bits and pieces. Louis lets himself be known early on, takes some damage, no kill for him. Going to go back in. It is cheeky. Flash over the top, somewhat ineffective, but at least scares them away. It's all Gabe now. Not sure if he has been spotted around this corner. They're obviously aware of, the cave angle. It would look like not, and he lines up for two. Beautiful combat movement coming in from Gabe there. The bait here as well, in towards elbow. May well have just done enough. 1 versus 4 overall. For Demigod, ready for the main push, but a tough kind of angle up close, especially against the MP9. Still wins it. And he is happy to take these fights if they keep coming his way. Slow creep out. Oh, he gets it. Not ready, though. Shut out. Right place, right time, because that could have got way out of hand.
Yeah, that really could have got a little bit problematic in the end. Not to be. 7-2. Guaranteeing a lead on the CT side. That's what they care about. That's the main thing that they are looking at. On the other side, too, for Honduras, that was it was a winnable round on paper coming into it. The buy was a little bit feeble over towards the United States. It didn't really have the best of investments to work with, and I think because they've walked away with it, once again, just reaffirms this idea about how confident they are. Kojo is hearing a lot of information. MDS going to be ready for the fight. Avoids the first flash and the second, and in they come. Gets the first. Transfers to the second, too. MDS is still alive. Hasn't been traded as Kojo comes in for support. Oh, my. That should have been their opportunity, and it's not. The last man of tin here. I mean, he's nowhere to be seen.
Indeed, that lurking presence out towards the mid-area was hoping to get involved once the bomb had gone down, but that's not a world in which we live. Louis ready for him, drops him. 8-2, continues looking dominant here for USA. Sure, not going to be that 13-0, but, you can't get 2 of them in a row. That would be absolutely crazy. All the same, still looking for a one-sided affair, and that is on the cards. No bomb plant means a low buy for Honduras at best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for this one, you've unfortunately sort of got to give it away just to have that investment towards the next round, but that is giving USA a 9th, which in itself, it's a scary factor. Ooh. Shut out. Kojo, one apiece. Really, really nicely done. Demigod onto the back of that Tech 9. He wants to try and play up close. Gets a tag as well. Yeah, not to be. Not to be.
Oh, MDS nearly caught off, but Glock, not the weapon you want there. Ran's all alone with the Deagle. Maybe some stats to be earned here, but the round itself not going to happen. Out he will peek. And Louis has the angle on him, so 9th coming in. Feels pretty solid now. Hoping to keep it going, but unfortunately, Honduras, it feels like this will be a bit too much for them to do moving into that second half.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are, even if it is 9-3 as well. I just feel like it asks a little bit too much from me. This Honduras side need something quite miraculous on the CT. I think they want a chance of pushing this towards a third. Ali will come down. Try and slow down the A push. SA opt against kind of fighting up close here. Another Molotov, but it's a T-Molly. Nade will come down, which does do a fair decent chunk, and Kojo spams behind. It's only been A pushes, really, for the last few rounds for Honduras, which haven't been going too well.
Yeah, it's true. It tends to be the harder bomb site to hit anyway.
Yeah.
So we saw some decent work on B, but I feel their issue is that they just do not know how to contend with the lane aggression initially, right? Like, if they get in, then maybe they feel like they're in a good spot. However, the patience of this round has worked out quite nicely. Just going to be Kojimo in towards Donut, and I think they are now aware of him. So 2v4 would be a heck of a thing if they can pull it off, but Kojimo looking to get aggressive here. They line up. He's dropped the bomb. He took hardly any damage there, Neo. They were not ready for him at all. Devul with the catch. Makes it doable again, but Kojimo keeps them coming and is playing so well. Super dynamic here. Absolutely what is needed in a round like this. Don't just post up. Starve them of the information. And now he's brought it down to this very winnable 1v1.
That's true. God. Oh, he's about to drop it out, and Kojo running 5-7. Wild way to finish it off. I think it's safe to say, but a 10-2 all the same. United States looking really, really good. We said it a little bit earlier. We need to see something absolutely spectacular from Honduras heading in towards the second half to even be in for the chance. I don't really think it's going to happen, right? But a 13-0 and a 10-2 here, it has just been great Counter-Strike. United States proving why they are the favorites.
Well, yeah, I mean, time and time again, you know, that previous round just speaks to it massively. And they've had many close moments, the pistol being one of them from that first half. So just way more experience, I think, as individuals of these types of rounds and how deep they can go. It feels like Honduras have a position of like, okay, we play against players of our kind of level, and some games might be close, but it comes down to, you know, a super strong performance from individuals rather than that overall team Counter-Strike's a very different game. 4v2 here. Rands, nice find, but short-lived. Shadow spotted. Easy pickup for Gabe. And that will pretty much seal it in, to be honest, as they give themselves their hefty advantage now with that pistol being picked up. Do you eco? Do you force? Does it make a massive difference here for Honduras? The answer, potentially not. We'll see what they can do with some expenditure, though. Yeah, Demigod's forcing, so I think that'll probably spur on the rest of the side here. But I think sort of whichever way you go, it's probably not going to make a grandiose of a difference here of what the overarching score is going to be. He banks it towards mid with a lot of damage. First fight, a little scrappy in all fairness, as Tin doesn't really make something of it. So MDS has got the P90 out. Unironically, the P90 cooks. It's maybe just not worth its price tag, but in this situation, I think MDS is going to earn his money's worth. Tin, guess what? The MP9, there is an upgrade there for him as well, but the P90 wants to hunt on the move. Only one gun is winning that one. Shutout gets one of his own as well. The double P90s both getting kills on the board as they have a fun time of things. 12-2, force buy unsuccessful. Indeed. USA rolling through the motions, making it look simple here as they look to net their second victory out in Group A. Of course, that will lock them into the playoffs. The top two teams roll through into just a couple games in the playoffs. Of course, those will be taking place over the next couple of days. But ultimately, looking very, very good here. We'll maybe take a little bit of a check-in if this is our final round with where those other games are at. And it looks like it might just be the end, to be honest. 5 versus 3, bomb going down. Kills all over the shop. They are, okay, just rolling through. I don't think that was, you know, intentional. He did just get in the way.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Sir, hello. Okay. All right. That's one way of saying please. Can we just have one round? But no, Team USA merciless in the end. I don't even think they quite knew what was going on either. 2-0 coming in, only a couple rounds picked up by Honduras. Severely outmatched here this evening.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, that is just going to be the state of things. You know, at times we're going to have, you know, some of these teams who are powerhouse like United States play against, you know, regions that are maybe a little bit underrepresented in the Counter-Strike scene as a whole, right? We don't see a hell of a lot of players from Honduras, generally speaking. So I'm glad they got an appearance here. I'm glad they got to have an opportunity and showcase what they had. But I think once again, really just highlights how good this United States team are. Very clean, very crisp, a lot to like about them. They've got a lot of these individuals who can make, you know, a massive difference in this sort of a tournament, and actually can make deep runs not only in the tournament itself, but you know, most likely case, right, is them qualifying towards the land.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that should be the case now. We'll see what happens, though, of course, into the playoffs, right? Things could get a little bit funky once we separate the wheat from the chaff, so to say. It might be a difficult run for them. We're not 100% sure sort of how the seeding's going to go down on that. Will they be facing off against Canada in that first semi-final, right? That could be a pretty scary prospect, and indeed a very, very worrying kind of sign. So we'll see what happens in that case, but I think for my money, it looks like a very, very solid team here for Team USA. A couple of rounds in there where, indeed, again, they get overzealous. They let it swing in favor of Honduras, but a good number of moments. That one there from Coach Mo that we've just seen as well is a great example of it, where it's like they just know what they're doing in those kinds of situations. And unfortunately, what happens is Honduras are not considering. They're like, okay, 4v2 feels pretty good. They're not considering the fact that it's like actually one player could turn this around. Got to be vigilant, got to check every angle. And indeed, not necessarily complacency or anything like that, but I just think the fact that they don't rightly know what they're doing in those kinds of situations because they just don't get there very often.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely spot on. But in the end, we take a look at the scoreboard. Gabe had a really good game for him on an individual basis. And yeah, decent work as well. A real nice couple of rounds from MDS Kojo as well, who got a decent amount of kills. I mean, Shutout didn't look bad. He just really was. He was on the wrong side, right? He was B anchoring, and they were going A every round. So, unfortunately, just really by the time he'd rotated over, they were all dead. You know, simple as that, but really good. I think it has to be said from the United States. Look clean, not a lot of mistakes really been made at all, and if there was any, they really weren't the most damning. A couple of rounds picked up by Honduras, but you know, in the end, just a mismatch, I think, is the main takeaway point from that, and a really good showing from United States. That guarantees them getting out of their groups as well, which is I think pretty huge to have that as a sort of under a lock and key. That's how their second win that they picked up. That's 0-2 as well for Honduras, but we'll have to keep tabs on seeing how that Panama versus Colombia game is going. I'm just checking out. I can't seem to see, at least at the moment, where it is. Actually, it has just finished. It was actually finished. It finished 2-1 to Panama. So that does look like probably Group A is going to be concluded like that. United States finishing top, Panama just in behind, especially with how one-sided that was. So yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. I think that will indeed sort of lock things in. There's another game to go into tomorrow, I do believe. So we'll see how things kind of pan out with that. Yeah, we have just ticked over into the 27th. So as I'm looking at games, I was like, wait, is that today? Is that, you know, it gets a little confusing into the night shift here, of course. But yeah, so the round 3 matches will be going down tomorrow, and indeed into kind of the day after for that. For Group B, but ultimately a really, really solid look here, of course, for Team USA, and they take the 2-0, and it looks like they will indeed take their qualification spot. So we'll see the seeding going to be important moving forwards with that third and final game taking place tomorrow. Keep your eye on that, and we'll see. Yeah, can Panama bring it to them? They've been the other team that have looked good in this group. But folks, we've got a break here. It is going to be a bit more of an extended one, as that was quite quick. And you know, with Group B now going down, it's a different crop of teams. They've got an expected start time. I doubt they'll want to get started any earlier, but you never know. We might be able to push them in, because it is going to
prod.
be like a couple hours.
Yeah.
I think that they'll be happy, you know, to move the game forward by about an hour or so. We'll see. We'll see. Keep your eye on the timer. Keep your eye on all the pages and all that good stuff as well. IESF.gg for a bit of information for the game starts. But from us here, we're going to take that extended break. We'll see you in a bit.